weeks ahead as far as counting toward the vaccinated players you have on your team?
What do you mean by positive impact?
Do they count as vaccinated in the future?
I'm not sure of that question. I mean, not the question. I'm not sure of the answer. We got almost everybody on our team vaccinated. There's a few guys who aren't. I can't ever get into who is and who isn't. But the protocols are different for all three of those guys. But I think it'll be easier than it was last year.
Are you taking things slowly with Kittle because of the knee stuff that he had early in the offseason?
Yeah, all the knee stuff, just the stuff he went through in the offseason, making sure the swelling's out, and took it easy on him here the last couple of weeks with his rehab. So just trying to get him back into shape so he doesn't go out there and re-swell it or anything like that.
Did Jalen Hurd have any kind of setback during individual?
No, he was good. Was able to do individual. Did some. Did everything up to team drill. So I was excited to see him out there today. It's been a little bit.
Both Jimmy and Trey had multiple, very impressive throws. You felt like if that's, it's not open competition at the moment, it seemed like a pretty good start for both those guys in there. Ready for this.
Yeah, I think, I was impressed with both of them in OTAs, and, I've only been around them one practice now, but they seemed sharp today and was good. Our cadence wasn't great with the second and third group, just coming off the ball and stuff with some new guys, but besides that, I thought it was a good crisp practice for the first day.
Was the cadence the issue with that one mix-up early on in full team drills?
Yes, there was a few of them today, but there was one exceptionally bad. It looked like 11 guys came off on a different cadence. So.
Otherwise, what do you think of Trey overall? And he had the big throw to Debo in sevens, and then the jump ball to Kittle later. So what do you think?
It was nice. It was the right spot to go with the ball both times. Debo went by his guy, and he made a perfect throw in stride. And then the one to Kittle was pretty good coverage, but he gave him an opportunity ball, and Kittle went up and made a play. So I was impressed with both the eligibles and the quarterback on it.
Very light reps the first couple days and then.
There is a technical NFL ramp up, which just means it's 5 days with OTA rules and stuff, except we're allowed to do one-on-ones, but no pads and anything like that. But the way we do it is, it's a low day today. We'll do a little bit more tomorrow. We'll back it off the next day, and we'll do that over a 4-day span. Then we'll get a day off. We'll do our fifth practice, which is the last day of ramp up, and then practice 6 will be pads. A little bit. I looked a couple times.
Did you get a chance to see Nick? He looks like he's pretty healthy and full go.
Yeah, Nick takes care of himself and better than anyone I've ever been around. The guy has got a one-track mind, and it's awesome. So you knew he'd come in great, and now it's just about, you got to know how much time it's been since the injury. It's him moving and looking like the player he is isn't an issue. It's just about building it up the right way. So when he gets out there with 22 people, he can react and feel safe if he gets caught in an awkward position. So we'll take our time with that and be smart.
You look any different than last? How much more mature and ready does he look going into year 2 now?
It was day 1, so I'll have a good idea probably after 3 days. But I was impressed with him today. I know he came into OTAs feeling pretty ready, had a little bit of a setback in OTAs with, I think it was some growing tightness. And I know what he did his 40 days away. I feel like that helped him. He thought he was ready, which he seemed close to it, had a little bit of setback. And just talking to him and seeing him out there, he's done everything he can to improve off that. And I feel he's in a better spot, but time will tell.
During those 40 days away, do players voluntarily just I know you've got a lot of video from Nick, but it seems like obviously you're aware of what everybody's doing. Do they just voluntarily tell you, show you?
Some guys, every person's different, and I'm different with each person. I think so is each coach. The whole goal is to get the best out of everybody. Some guys you got to keep your thumb on a little bit, and some guys need a break from you a lot. Most of our D-line needs a break from Chris Eric. A few guys need a break from me. And so sometimes you give those guys a break, and it's a lot easier to coach them when they come back. Some guys need you to stay in contact a lot, and each one's different, but it's all the same goal.
I know he wasn't in the team or maybe some others, but D4 certainly it's the first time we've seen him in a while. Is it hard to resist? Like, he looks pretty good right now, and moving him forward a little faster.
No, I've just been with him, and I've seen the history, and we got to be smart with it. It's been a tough situation for him and us, just going through it, and the sensitivity of his injury. So I try to never get too high or too low with it. I mean, if D Ford's healthy and can play, and we all know how much he's going to help us and how much he did when he was healthy in 2019. But I keep my fingers crossed, but I sit there and I'm not going to hope or wish. We're going to go about our business, and if things work out for him, it's going to be a hell of a deal for him, and it's a hell of a deal for the Niners.
Ford yesterday said that the defensive line's giving him 2019 vibes. And I know you don't always want to look back, but have there been moments, whether in the OTAs, I know not many of them, the first line guys were out there today, but were you felt the same? Were you seeing something, feel something like that?
Yeah, I've felt the same about our D-line since really 2018 ended. I thought that we had a chance going into 2019 to have a special D-line. I thought we had a chance going into 2020 to have a special D-line, and I feel exact same this year. So it's 3 years in a row that I feel we're in a very good position now. That just gives you a chance going into it. You guys saw what we did with that chance in 19, and you guys saw what happened in 20. So, but I don't feel there's much difference. We got the talent out there, and especially at that position. And it's the work we put in, how we tie everyone together, how healthy we can stay, and how good we respond to some adversity.
Where's Sanu now compared to maybe when you had him for that little bit last year, just being further away?
I think he's in such a better spot. I knew Sanu so well from my year with him in Atlanta. We studied him hard when that trade went down, and we were looking into him and Emmanuel, and New England ended up getting Sanu, and he was at the top of his game then, and he had such a bad high ankle sprain that last year in New England, then went into COVID. And, we didn't get him till I want to say week 1, and he just wasn't quite the same yet. And I think that happened with a lot of guys who didn't get to do the same stuff in COVID. When guys don't get to go through an off-season OTAs and off-season training camp, they don't know why, but there's just something missing. And Sanu told us he's good to go, and we believed him, and we got him here in OTAs, and we could see it. I think you ask our players and anybody who's watched him, he looks like the guy I remember, and not the guy that we had for those week and a half or whatever it was, and looked great today too. So hopefully we can keep it up and keep it going.
Kyle, the rookies were a little disappointed, or Debo and Brandon were a little disappointed last year when he did get cut. Do you sense that they're feeding off his energy now that he's back?
Yeah, each guy's different, so you have to ask them more than me, but I think it's when you have a guy in there who's done it in a few places and who does it the right way. Those are guys that guys respect. It's always good to have someone they can go to ask questions. Guys that, you don't want the coaches always pushing people. Eventually, you push your son so much that they stop listening. You got to get the neighbor's dad to go coach them, and they'll listen to them. So that's what you like with some veteran players that they respect. But they don't respect them. That can backfire on you too.
I know it's just one practice, but you said yesterday Garoppolo was obviously impressive in the spring. That was OTAs. We'll see about training camp. Was that the same kind of OTA Garoppolo or something better?
It was one practice, but it was a hell of a practice. He's doing a great job. Yeah, we'll just crown everybody today before I've watched the tape and after 5 reps. But usually when you have an OTAs like that, you don't go celebrate for the 40 days away. You know how good it feels in OTAs, and you build off that in a training camp. So I would have been very surprised if he took a step back, and we didn't see that at all today.
You did say that Trey looked good, but then he's going to be away for 40 days, and let's see what he is when he comes back.
Yeah.
Is it all absorbed? Did you see that from him?
I saw a guy who didn't stop working, and we definitely check up on him a lot. So I know Trey working isn't. That's not the issue. He's going to work and do everything. And now you do it away from us, so you want to see what type of work he's doing and everything, and you get films and stuff like that. But we'll see that over the course of these next 7 practices. We got him through 7 practices and OTAs where you go through a 7-day install, and we'll do the same install for these 7 practices. And I like to get those 7 over because then you get it all out of the way, and you can start kind of forming your team and the direction of where you guys are going based off of how they've looked off those 7 practices.
Did you notice the fans at all? What was it like just having them back for training camp?
Oh, it was awesome. Just driving in today and having a couple of fans out there that I'm used to dabbing up before I go in, and they were nervous to dab me up. I wasn't nervous, so I'm vaccinated, so I felt all right with it. Hope that didn't get me in trouble. But it was a really cool feeling coming in. I mean, it's different not having fans out there, and I know our guys were pumped. I heard them buzzing about it this morning. We usually do a rookie hype machine, and I feel like I didn't see it out there today, so I was kind of disappointed with that. I'll get that corrected later today. But it was definitely different, and so pumped to see it in the stadium.
You mentioned the cadence issue with Trey early on, and then later it seemed like he drew some guys off sides and had a free play. Is that an example of sort of the things you see from him from the mental aspects in his early development? Like, how's he doing in that regard?
It's still too early. I mean, the D-line probably hadn't heard us going to yet, and they've been teeing off. So, but I mean, he had pretty good command of that watching him in college. I mean, he played the position like he's been doing it for a while, even though he didn't a ton in college. But that's one of the things we were impressed with him a lot. And I just think he didn't get a ton of reps in OTAs because it wasn't as much as we usually do. But we just got to give that guy the time and let him keep working and work his way through some stuff. And I think we're going to all be pretty excited.
Have you been able to get a gauge on how Aaron Banks has come into camp, and what would the timeline for him be to work with the first team?
And it's the timeline as everyone else. As soon as we think he's better than the guys in front of him, and being where we drafted him and stuff, we obviously think he has a chance to be. We think he's a pretty talented player, but just watching it live, he does some good things, and he got a lot of rookie things too. I don't think he's focused right now in his first day of practice about getting a starting job. He needs to be focused on just doing as good as he can. He didn't get all the reps in camp, and today was probably the most he's gotten, and we'll just keep stacking them up. And I'm sure a couple days he'll take a couple steps back, but as long as he's taking more steps forward, we'll be all right.
To clarify on Kinlaw, he had surgery, I think in January. It was characterized by the team as very minor. Is he out right now just still because of that surgery?
No, I actually, and I'll paraphrase if that's the right word, because I'm not sure the exact details of it, but he had traveling and stuff like a month ago or something, just swelled up a little bit, so that I don't know whether they drained it or not. I'll get it exactly for you guys tomorrow, but just a minor thing, and so he had to stay off of it for a little bit after they did that, and we don't want to throw him right back out there because he stayed off of it for a couple weeks going into camp. And I feel good, I feel he's healthy, but a guy who stayed off his leg for a couple weeks, you don't just throw out there right away.
Coach, what's the biggest advantage that Trey has learning from Jimmy? He's obviously been in the offense for a long time. How do you expect that relationship to work, and just passing the knowledge along of a playbook that's very complex?
Yeah, I mean, a playbook's just about memorizing the drawings and what's on there and what you call stuff. So that's putting the time in, and some people it's a little harder for than others, but you put the time in, everyone gets it. It's about the experience and feeling the live reps. And Jimmy's gone through it a number of times, and he's done it at a high level. So that's to me where the help comes. I mean, when I can teach him, tell him stuff, but you get away and a guy tells him kind of how it feels, or he sees him going through it, oh yeah, I used to struggle with that too. Eventually it's this, so just be patient. And those are the same things people like Sanu can help out with Ayuk and stuff like that. And, Jimmy's made for that. I mean, his personality and stuff, he's not, he's one of the guys in there, and whether it's with Trey or anyone else. So it's been a good dynamic so far.
Tim Harris was out there with the first team group. A little surprising to us because we haven't seen a lot of him over the years. Is he coming off a good spring? I mean, where is he in this mix of?
He did have a real good spring, and that's why those guys put him out there today. It's want to look a lot into it. Mosley wasn't there today, and we're not making a big decision right now, but that's how it looked in OTAs, and that was a credit to Tim because he looked as good as he has in OTAs, and I don't know yet after today. I'll watch the tape, but hopefully you can keep that going throughout camp.
Using from your running back group, Trey Sermon seems to be taking a lot of reps with the ones.
Sorry, was that before?
Running back group, Trey Sermon's taking quite a few reps with the ones.
Yeah, I'll notice how many he took when I get in. I mean, I know we were trying to be lighter on Raheem. I think that was a big part of it. Whether Trey got it today, I think that all that stuff will start evening out. I mean, we got a pretty good group of backs in terms of, everyone on the roster's got a chance to make this team. We know what Raheem's done for us. We know what Jeff's done, and we got to find out about these other guys.
What do you put in pads, Kyle?
It's the 5th practice, so 3 more days plus an off day plus the 5th. It's this, yeah, thank you guys. Every day is Monday to me, so I should have just said that. You guys good?
We got 11 on 11 throw today. I know that'll change
Yeah.
from day to day, but Is that going to be difficult for you to make that decision?
Oh, it's always difficult. I mean, that's the tough thing about the NFL. I mean, it's, that's why we all say we wish we had a minor league or something, because it's just tough to give the threes a ton of reps. I think our threes got 2 reps in each period, and he's rotating with Nate on who gets those 3 reps, so it's just limited. I think I want to blame Rich for getting off track one, so he missed one of those. I think Trey stole an extra handoff, but Josh got him for that last throw.
You rotate who throws in individual, who throws to the receivers, and the one quarterback who throws to the backs?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not on top of that, but they rotate that every day. Yeah, we got to get everybody with everyone. All right, guys. Thanks.
You happy to be back?
Oh yeah, it felt great just to be back out with all the guys. Yeah, like I was talking to a couple guys the other day. It just feel like I ain't played ball in like a full year, just due to injuries and stuff.
And so what's it like being out there and working with Jimmy and also working with Trey, like that combination of those two guys?
It's just great working with both of them. I mean, we still got a lot of work to do as a team to get where we need to be. Jimmy looked great. Trey looked great as well. We're just gonna continue to work with both of them.
I think last time we talked, you said you were going to do whatever you can to try to stay healthy as you can. So what was your off-season program like, and what kind of things did you do to?
I was just on top of my body for like more flexibility, more getting in and out of breaks, getting lean. I started doing yoga twice a week and just making sure I was on top of my body, just making sure no nicks and bruises would pop up.
Did you have a teammate that turned you on to yoga, or how did you come about that?
No, I actually went to, I was with KB for like 2 weeks or whatever, so I was out there with him, and then I ended up going to House of Athletes in Fort Lauderdale at Brandon Marshall's gym. And so he have a good yoga teacher there, so you pay a flat rate and you can go twice a week. So we started doing that, and it started working well.
You feel different?
Yes, sir.
In what way?
Say it again?
In what way?
Just more flexible, you know what I'm saying? Can get in and out of breaks more fluently. It just, feel loose.
Jimmy Ward said that it's been beneficial for him as well. What type of yoga are you doing?
It's really kind of like hot yoga, just focus on more of like my lower body because my upper body is fine. Just working on, make sure my hamstring's fine, hip, foot, ankle, all the things that's been injured, more focus on that, and it kind of helped.
Debo, did it feel like the first day of school? You got the fans back. I saw some of your videos. You guys are obviously very
Yeah, it just felt great. We ain't seen fans in a while, so it was great to have them out there, even though we can't be close. It was just the energy that they bring out there. And, like I stated a minute ago, it was just great to be back out there with the guys, just knowing where our head is at.
That deep ball from Trey, was that just a go route? Can you describe that play a little
It was just a go route, and the corner set. So I just looked up and the ball was placed perfectly well.
Does an offense get energy, momentum from plays like that? Do you feel like, let's keep this going?
I mean, it starts with the wideouts. For us to run game, we pride ourselves in blocking for the backs. Whenever we make a play, it just energy boost for the whole team. So we just go out there and just try to keep it.
Kyle was just talking about Mohamed Sanu coming back and being just looking more like himself from where he was last year. How helpful is he for you guys to have him as a resource? And, bounce things off?
I mean, it's actually great. Me and BA was kind of, upset last year when they cut Sanu because he was just like the vet in the room. I mean, he's been in there for a while. He teaches us the in and outs of game, not only just football, but kind of like Emmanuel was when Emmanuel was here. That's what we have here with Sanu. And, to me, it looked like he was the Sanu that he was when he was in Atlanta. He looked really good.
When last year when that happened, did you go? Did you ask Kyle or did you ask Wes, like, what's going on? Why was this move made?
Nah, it's not my place to. I can't control that.
Does he look different though? I mean, he actually physically kind of looks different.
Yeah, he looked different. He always had the good hands, and he just looked fluent in and out of breaks, and just more locked in. And he's gonna be able to help us. Do what we have to do this year.
Is there something emotionally different about him this year than it was last year? Does he seem the same to you?
I just think, being around the young guys, we got a lot of energy, so that brings a little bit more energy to him. So he tend to act like us, and so we'll be really good.
George said yesterday that Jimmy had a little bit more fire in OTAs. Is that something you're seeing from him?
Of course, Jimmy, like I talked about back home with a couple guys, it's like how Jimmy looking. I was like, he came back to OTAs looking like a different guy, just really locked in and focused on the things that, he needed to work on, and he kind of showed today. He had a pretty good day today, too.
You developed this reputation as sort of a catch and run guy in the NFL, but I remember certainly at South Carolina in the Senior Bowl, you had the deep game as well. Is that something you want to do, show off more, going forward, just the ability to do those go routes, the things that...
Of course, that was just something that I was working on this offseason, running more deep routes, not just, the catch and run type of guy, just getting separation in and out of breaks, and whenever the opportunities come, we're just going to take advantage of them.
Do you see something specifically, physically from Jimmy that looks different? You kind of mentioned it. But
He's just more locked in, more focused to detail, have more energy in the huddle.
In what ways do you think Brandon Ayuk's gotten better after his rookie season and heading into this one?
One thing that we always pick on BA about is, coming off the ball, because he has everything else, the routes, the hands. So if he come off the ball, like he's supposed to every play, he's a kind of unguardable guy.
Have you ever seen him make a long catch? Feels like every catch he makes, he's like extended.
I mean, a catch is a catch. He go out there and get it done.
Thank you, Debo.
No problem.
We good to go?
Yeah, we're rolling for it.
That's right.
Today, Juice?
Say it again?
How did it feel out there today?
Oh, it was great. Definitely a difference just having people out there. It just brings a different energy, a different fun. It breaks up the monotony of, early training camp. So it was good to have everyone out there.
How the quarterbacks look?
I didn't think you were going to ask about them. Quarterbacks look great, man. I think they've all come along, in their different stages. I think it was going into our 7-on-7 period. We emphasized completing every pass with the first group, and I think we started off 5 for 5. So I thought they looked good out there.
Well, it seemed, another quarterback question, but it seemed like both Jimmy and Trey had multiple throws where you're like, wow, not everyone can do that. A lot of teams are hoping to have one competent quarterback. Obviously, you don't know how this is going to play out, but it's going to be a good feeling that it looks like we could have two pretty competent quarterbacks.
Yeah, most definitely. I felt like just in day one, what kind of stood out to me is that they both made off-schedule plays. And I think in today's NFL, in order to be a really elite or a successful quarterback, you need to be able to make off-schedule plays. And, both of them did that with Trey putting the ball up to George on the sideline. Jimmy had a nice scramble that he threw a good ball to Ayuk, and he had another scramble to the right that I think he put on to, I think it was Ayuk as well. So just to see those guys make off-schedule plays is exciting for me.
He said he felt like Jimmy had the best OTAs that he's had. Really sharp, very aggressive. Do you feel that same energy is carried over into day one?
Yeah, I do. And you know what? I've gone on the record in saying that, just from the first day that Jimmy was here, his confidence, it just exuded out of him, and you could feel it, and that's just continued to progress. And I think that says a lot about just the character of him, being in the position that he is, and recognizing all that we gave up to move up and get Trey at the number 3 spot. That could shake a lot of people, but if it has, we haven't noticed it. Jimmy is Jimmy, and he has the same confidence that he's had from day one, and even more so.
When it comes to the playbook, each year, how much does it evolve when, based on the previous season, and how difficult is it maybe for a veteran like yourself to pick up?
Yeah, you know what? At this point, year 5, there's not a ton that changes. It really is just kind of minor details. But it's interesting. Each year, there does seem to be kind of a different theme. Just speaking from the run game, just a kind of a different theme of what becomes kind of our bread and butter that year. I know in 19, Kyle talked about it was the most gap scheme he had run in his entire career. And that, we didn't do as much in 2020, and we do seem to just find different things each year that just become a little more popular that season. But from year to year, we really do run all of it. It's just kind of what becomes our bread and butter that year.
Do you do something like that too? Do you go into each camp with a different theme, and if just to kind of keep it fresh? And if so, what is it this year?
Yeah, just personally, I do. Whether it's just focusing on my route running or getting in and out of cuts. This year, really, I just wanted to focus to continue on working on blocking in space, which I have always felt like has been a strength of mine. But there were some plays there last year that I felt like I left out on the field that could have been a little bit better. So that was something that I focused on a lot this offseason.
You sense, like with Mike's new title, do you expect kind of that run game to get out there a little bit more and be more creative and innovative?
Yeah, I feel like we already are one of the most creative run teams in the NFL, but I don't think that can stop us from being even more creative. And like you said, with Mike having that title and already being so involved, and maybe he's just that little bit more involved, I think things could get shaken up, just a little bit.
What was it about 19 that caused you to be so gap-centric that year?
I don't know exactly, but I think a lot of it is just reacting to the defense and just what was successful early on. I remember in that first game against Tampa, we just ran a lot, probably like 8 different counter plays in that game. And I can't think back of, another game with Kyle that we ran more than, like 2 or 3. So it was very successful in that first game of the season, and I think teams were scheming us for that wide zone because that's what Kyle is known for, and the gap scheme can really take advantage of that. So I think we kind of surprised Tampa in that first game, and then that was successful, and then we just kind of continued to roll with it, and it worked out really well that year.
You've added some offensive linemen. I mean, you got a big guy at right guard potentially, and your second round pick. I mean, do you foresee more gap stuff in the future, more power just because of the personnel you added?
I think it's possible. I have noticed just a difference in the makeup of the offensive line. It was evident in OTAs, just the different size of guys. Just when you get in the huddle, it's, wow, all right, we got quite the group in front of us that looks a little bit different than it did early on. So I think maybe that's a possibility, but it's hard to say on day one.
When you look at last year at this time as compared to today, is there a different kind of level of energy and optimism going into the season?
Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of that even just has to do with the circumstances of COVID and being able to be around each other more and have you guys out there and just feel the energy and that kind of stuff. So I think that plays into it a lot. And I also think that just in having the season that we did last year, that we felt like we just underachieved so much. Everybody was just so hungry and excited to get back here and just get back to football. So I think adding that all up really did bring a different energy today.
On the theme of the new look offensive line, you also have Alex Mack there now, who has been known as kind of the brain of Shanahan's offensive line. Have you, in the film room, noticed, the kind of impact that he might be able to have on the creativity of the run game?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, his intelligence stands out right away when you talk with Alex. And even today, just hearing him coming off after a few plays and talking to Jimmy just about different things that they can do just with the center quarterback exchange. But I've also seen differences in kind of how we want to, I don't want to give away everything here, but how we want to attack the defense with him. So I do think that he can add another element to the offense.
We haven't talked to Trey Sermon a whole lot. What's he like to work with? And stylistically, can he be somebody that complements Raheem Mostert in a way, maybe takes a little bit of load off him and allows him to maybe be a little bit more productive?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoy being around Trey so far. He exudes a quiet confidence to him. He's not too much of a chatterbox out there. He's and part of that may just be being a rookie and just wanting to kind of feel out the space and learn everyone's personality. But so far, it's just been a quiet confidence, and I've just been impressed with how he's been shoved into a lot of reps with the first team right away. With Jeff going down and Raheem missing a few practices during OTAs, and he's handled it really well. He's very intelligent, just very calm. The game's not too big for him, and you can sense that from him. So I got a lot of hope for him, and I think he's going to do a really good job.
This is kind of out of left field, but there's been in recent years a lot of prominent athletes have talked about mental health and mental health struggles, and obviously last month it's a lot of prominent. It's been even more so in the news. Have you sensed any sort of shift in the NFL about guys just, amongst themselves, going to, whoever the team has on site to talk about stuff, if that's changed recently or not?
Yeah, no, I do feel it. I just feel more openness to talk about it, and guys just being real with each other and being able to open up to one another. And it's kind of hard to describe other than that, just that you feel like guys are more open and willing to talk about that stuff.
George mentioned yesterday that he spent some time at Kelsey Juszczyk up in New York.
Yeah, he did.
Do you get the feeling that, I don't know if bounce back is the right word, but last year not the kind of year he wanted to have after signing the contract. What kind of year do you expect him to have, and is there ways he can maybe take it to another level?
Yeah, I expect a huge year from George. I know I'm up here just pumping up everybody, and everyone's going to have a great year. But I genuinely believe it, and I see an even different determination in George. I know he wasn't happy with how the team did, but even I think he felt like he could have done even better. And I have just seen that different determination in his eyes, and I think that, obviously we all know what George can do. The sky is the limit for him. So, yeah, I think George is going to go out there and be George.
Kyle, I know it's day one, but Kyle was talking about it at the draft that Bobby Turner didn't think he was going to get another running back, and then they sort of surprised him.
Mm-hmm.
What have you sort of sensed about his energy level and working with those two rookies?
He seems very excited, and I think it's a testament to Elijah and Trey and just what they've been able to do. I spoke about Trey's just kind of quiet confidence and his intelligence, and Elijah is very similar in that way too, and that neither of them seem to be overwhelmed at all. It's been impressive for two rookies to come in, to this offense, which how complex it can be and how much can be put on your shoulders. Both of them have handled it just really well, and I think there's a lot of talent there. And I think going back to we talked about earlier, I think those guys can complement each other, and I think they can complement Raheem running style. They all bring a little something different to the table, so I think we got a really good group there.
How much can you help Trey Lance learn the offense like you have with Jimmy Garoppolo? What's your relationship with him right now?
Yeah, you know what? It's for me, not being a quarterback and not being in the room with them every day. I can really just kind of offer more of a veteran advice and it really, if anything, put him more at ease than teaching him specific stuff. I'm not going to, after the play, I'm not putting his arm around him and telling him, hey, you got to go 1 to 2 here. Come on, that's that's not going to be my role. Honestly, one of my first conversations with Trey, I tried to ease his mind a little bit and let him know that those first OTAs as a rookie, you're going to be swimming. Every one of us is. It doesn't matter if you're the number 3 overall pick. There's just a lot to learn. But I reassured him that once you go through those OTAs and you learn all that and you get away from it, it's when you come back that things really start to get cemented in your head, and that's when things really start to process quicker. And I felt like I saw a little bit that from him today, and things start to become a little bit second nature once you can get away from it and come back.
When the team first made the trade, was there talk among the players or anybody in the locker room like, man, this might be a little bit awkward given like the expectations you guys have for the season while also making a move like that to get a quarterback?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I can be realistic here and say, yeah, we have those discussions. We all are close with Jimmy, and we've been through a lot with him, and we want to be able to support both of them because at the end of the day, we want what's best for the team, but we have personal relationships here too. We're not all a bunch of robots. So there's that balance of being able to support both, and I don't think they're mutually exclusive. You can support both of them and be good teammates to both of them, and want the best for everybody at the same time.
Kyle, don't you think it is your place to talk to Trey Lance about quarterback sneaks?
Yes, I do feel qualified in that area, and hopefully, I can give him a few reps and show him how it's done again this year.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Did it feel like riding the bike and back out there?
I mean, there's always, those first day jitters, excitement, having fans out there. I'm a huge fan of that. It was just, it's good to get back to some normalcy, I guess.
George said yesterday that he saw a different fire in you in OTA, and Devo just said you seem a little bit more locked in, more energy in the huddle. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Just, I don't know. It's a good thing that they're seeing that. I'm just trying to be myself, consistent every day is really what I try to be. And, yeah, I mean, it's like every year, it's a big year. But, we got an opportunity to do something special, and I'm excited about that.
Kyle also was very complimentary of your OTA's performance, saying that you were sharp, aggressive. How do you take that and carry it over into training camp?
Having a good summer. I think that was the first step. Pretty happy with how it went. And to get back here, it seems like guys had, a very productive summer. And there's just the energy right now. I've said this in the past before, but you could tell when our group is locked in and when they're focused and, transfers over to the field. And so I thought it was a good first day today, but got to go have a good walk through tonight and just keep it rolling throughout camp.
When you get done with your reps, how curious are you to see what Trey does?
It's more about getting the mental reps for just looking at the defense and things like that. I'm always pulling for Trey, pulling for all the QBs, Nate, Josh, but I don't know, you're trying to get the mental reps of what the defense is doing, talk to your guys on what you just went through with your plays and, all that stuff.
He's inexperienced, but he does some impressive stuff. He's talented. Do you feel like he brings out the best in you on the field?
I try to do that myself. I've been around for a little while. I sound old saying that, but if you don't push yourself, then you got no chance in this game. So, I mean, if you rely on outside forces to motivate you, it's going to be tough. But at the end of the day, I'm as motivated as it gets.
I mean, with this offseason, obviously your team has made no secret that, they had eyes for Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford. They traded up to number 3. What do you expect from your team, your coaches, as far as what do you require for support? Like, what do you want to see? What do you want to hear from them?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't put too much thought into that. I think, our coaches they're very unique in the sense that they're going to put you in a great position every play to be successful. And I've been fortunate to be around some good coaches who always do that, but that's not the case in a lot of teams around the league. And so to have the coaching staff that we have, I'm very fortunate. I think our team is very fortunate. And it's, at the end of the day, we're out there playing football, and you just want them to put you in a good position.
Well, what's the key for you to avoid whatever potential awkwardness there could be with Trey, given the situation?
I don't know what you're talking about, awkwardness, but no. Me and Trey, we've had a good relationship. We really have. It's sort of one of those things, it is what it is. This business is weird, but, at the end of the day, we're in that locker room. We're around each other so much that, it's just business.
You've alluded to the past to kind of letting that grow organically a little bit. Did you, over the summer, seek out any other quarterbacks or talk to any other quarterbacks about who may have been in similar situations? And if so, who and what did they tell you?
I didn't really seek anyone out. I think just from having talked to guys, being around the league for a little while, and having, I was in a similar situation in New England. So you see those things firsthand. You see it, playing out on the media throughout other teams and things like that. And, at the end of the day, it's football. And so you just got to go out there, enjoy it. It's not going to be around forever, and so enjoy it while you can.
Jake said that he was really impressed with your off-schedule plays today. Is that a part of your game that you focused on in any way this offseason?
I wouldn't say I focused on it. I think the understanding of the offense, when a play breaks down and that this original play didn't work or whatever it is, it just didn't work out the way you thought it was. I think having knowledge of the offense and knowing where guys are and where they should be after the play breaks down, if that makes any sense, I think that's helped me. And so I wouldn't say it was a focus, but I think it just comes with knowledge of the offense.
It looked like one of those plays was time. Did you work out with him at all this offseason away from here? Because I saw you did that with some guys. And just what's the trust and confidence factor with him right now?
We didn't get a chance this summer. It didn't really work out, but the trust factor with me and B it's been awesome. It really has. Starting from, when he first got here, we had a good OTAs together. He's just one of those guys, his body language, it allows me to anticipate throws. We had a couple of them today. The breakdown in the play that you're talking about, honestly, there wasn't even, usually as a quarterback, you got to point him at where you want him, and he broke literally when I broke, when we escaped the pocket together. It was kind of weird, but it's just guys like that, when you could trust them with their body language. Muhammad had a couple plays today like that, it just it gives you confidence as a quarterback, I guess.
Yesterday, Trent Williams said, maybe exaggerating, I don't know, that your ankle was like an inch away from being torn off, or however he phrased it. It did sound, in his words, worse than maybe we thought. Was there some really major, serious issues with that ankle that weren't discussed?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Surgery was debated, but whenever I could avoid that, I'm going to do that. So, it's we all go through it. All these guys, I mean, we're all battling injuries and shit like that. It's part of the game, but the ankle's been feeling great. Honestly, it really has. So I'm happy about that.
You mean another surgery was debated?
Well, a surgery for the ankle. I've had a surgery on the knee, but we avoided the one for the ankle, fortunately. So.
What's it been like to have Rich Gangarella back in terms of just the comfortability there?
It's been great. Rich was here when I first got here. Maybe very comfortable with the offense back then, and he's done the exact same now. Dude he gets the QB position, and I love him for that. Love being around him, the energy he brings every day. It's a lot of fun.
Debo mentioned that.
Sorry, say it again?
Debo mentioned that Sanu has an Emmanuel Sanders-like impact on the receivers and on their attention to detail. Have you noticed the same thing from Sanu?
Definitely, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but it is very similar. Just the attention to detail Mo brings is very unique in the receiver position. Emmanuel was the same way, and I wouldn't say we have a young receiver core, but just inexperienced, I guess. But having his experience around and hearing him talk to guys, it's really cool. Yeah, it's very similar to Emmanuel.
You didn't get much time with him last year, but comparing maybe to where he was physically then to what you see out there now, how much further along?
Muhammad?
Yeah, Muhammad.
He's looking fucking good, man. I mean, excuse the language, but he really is. He came in ready. It's been a lot of fun this first day, and I'm looking forward to the rest of camp with him.
Jimmy, what was the biggest thing you did in the offseason physically, and then also just for injury maintenance? So, did you focus on a certain area of the game, and then as far as injury maintenance, how does that work as well?
A lot just quarterback stuff, honestly. It wasn't so much weight room stuff. It was more on the field, QB, throwing, just things that a quarterback does. And I think I feel good right now. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. And, we got a little ways to go with training camp still, but we're in a good spot.
Last one, guys.
You're swearing more freely.
I haven't seen you guys in a while, man. Yeah.
I think you're going to open up when I ask you this. Well, what is the expectation is that at some point, someday, Trey Lance is going to replace you. And so probably having a sense of that, where is the line? Do you go to, hey, Trey, when you did this, you really should be doing this. How much of a mentor can you be? Should you be? Is there a line there?
I know what you're saying. Honestly, I try not to put too much thought into that, the specifics of it. I think that stuff just comes naturally. And it's not like I would ever hold something away from him and, I don't want to tell him this type of thing. It's just when you let it happen organically, and that's what kind of we've done, I think that's when it's at its most natural, and you could really build a normal relationship between two people. And so it's, I don't want to draw a line anywhere or anything like that, but anything he needs, I'm willing to help him. I think Nate and Josh are the same way. We got good room right now in the QBs, and it's fun to be around. All right? Thanks, guys. Good to see you guys again.
recently the D Ford's been looking real good, and you see him out here today, obviously not in the teams, but you see Boza out there. What does it make you feel when you see them looking pretty lively out there?
Makes you feel great. It's just good to have them back. I didn't get to see a good look at them since they're kind of getting worked in gradually, doing individual drill and stuff. But having them back just gives not only a boost to the whole defense, but to the entire team. Having two playmakers and guys who are leaders on this team, that's always a huge boost. I know you're obviously on the defensive side, but how much interest do you take in what's happening at quarterback? I let that handle itself. Like you said, I am on defense. I'm so locked in on what I can do individually, and then also as a unit on defense for how we can improve and help this team win games. So I don't think I'm too involved on that side.
Are there any behind the scenes things that D'Amico has brought to the defense, little tweaks here and there that's caught your eye?
A couple of tweaks, I'd say. I would, not to give away scheme or anything. Obviously, he's going to have his own taste or his own touch to the defense. He's the same exact person he's always been. Since when he was coaching me and the rest of the linebackers, he brings that passion every day, and he knows exactly what he wants. So it's been great so far.
Right, not just today, but in times past, you and D'Amico always seem to be talking before practice, before drills get going. What's kind of the tenor of that? What do you guys chat about?
We're always just trying to make sure me and him are on the same page. He's the one that's going to be in my ear, and I'm the one who's going to be echoing his calls. So we always want to make sure we're on the same page with whatever's going in that day and what he sees that I could probably improve upon or what the defense needs. He knows he can go to me because they're all looking at me at the end of the day when we're in that huddle.
We had the chance to talk to Jimmy Ward yesterday. He was saying that the D-line is a little reminiscent of what you guys had in 2019. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, I think they're the 2021 defensive line. And we talk all the time, right? And it's so easy to talk about that 2019 team as a whole and then obviously the defensive line. But, I kind of want to put that behind us. It was great when take it for how it was, and now we're on to what we are now. If we're shooting for the 2019 defensive line, why not shoot ahead of that? Why not want to be better? So I'm very excited about that group. I think we have starters not only on the first team, we have starters in that second team group, third team, guys who all, played football in the league and guys that I'm really excited about.
Fred, you guys have a little bit of a bigger and younger group of linebackers this year. What's that dynamic like, and how excited are you to work with those guys?
It's great, man. We have a lot of young guys for sure. I think I'm second oldest in the group now, so that's pretty interesting. But like I said, a lot of young guys who are hungry, ready to prove themselves, including me. We just want to go out and we want to create that energy for the entire defense. The D line, I think it starts with them, with how they penetrate and do their thing. But at the end of the day, the linebackers they lead the way in terms of how we execute and how we're communicating out there. So, like I said, I'm really excited about our group too.
With your answer about the 21 defensive line, do you think there was an element of last year you kind of maybe just thinking that the 2019 season would just roll into the 2020 season and it wasn't just, you need to make a clean break and start new? Was there any kind of that going on, you think, last year?
No, not really. I think we were pretty focused in, honestly, from start to finish. It was a unique year given the COVID situation, and you can go through every excuse, in the book of what happened. But every single year, I think each guy, and that's just being a professional, especially in this league, you got to put whatever you've done behind you. None of that matters anymore. What I did last year, none of that matters. What they're going to go off of is who you are now, today, going forward. And that's my only focus, and that should be everybody else's focus on the team.
The linebacker group is young, but you have a lot of guys who returned from the last couple of years. How much easier does that make you guys get on the same page?
Yeah, that connection obviously is huge when you have experience with one another. You talk about guys like Dre and Aziz, Flan, some of those guys who've been in games, and we've played with one another, and added Marcel to our group a little bit. You have that camaraderie already, and then when you have repetition together, that makes for much smoother and quicker communication, and we're playing that much faster.
Fred, having some fans fans out there today. What kind of different energy does that bring? And then what makes you look forward to the season knowing that fans will be back in the stadium?
Yeah, it's great. You know, from the moment I stepped out there, when I walked out and saw the fans and got them going a little bit, that was fun. I love the fans. And I'm so excited for when we have full stadiums again because, like I've said before, like that's what gets us going. It was really strange to play without them last season. We got through it, but it's good to have them back.
You know, you're not going to go against them until pads go on, but the offensive line is a little bit bigger this year. I mean, is that something that you noticed when you're out there lining up against them? That there's been some bulk added to that unit?
Yeah, no, they look great, and we still go against them even with pads not on. It's just it's a different type of I guess different type of speed tempo than when pads are on. But they do look great. Adding Alex to that at center, I think that's a great piece for them in terms of his experience and his veteran presence. You know, usually it's me and him going at it one-on-one. So, like you said, when the pads come on, that should be fun.
You already see him making a difference on the offensive line.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, with just that veteran presence, he already knows all the calls, I'm sure, because he played under Kyle before with the Falcons, and you know, just kind of helping out with the rest of the offensive line. You want a guy like that who's snapping the ball to the quarterback.
What is it like going one-on-one with him in that kind of that chess match?
It's good. You know, he obviously has those savvy vet moves that he's acquired over the years, and he's strong, he's big, he's everything that you would want in that centerpiece.
Brett, can you talk about what it's like to enter camp as a player? Trent mentioned yesterday when you have a good vibe and you know your team is good. Can you talk about what that feeling's like when you walk in? This team is built to have long-term success.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way every year, honestly. You know, I felt that way back when we were 4-12. We've always had the guys. We've had the right culture. You know, we're continuing to put it together and try and make it special. I love the guys that we have in this building. Everybody loves football, so you know it doesn't take a lot to get guys going and you know passionate to bring that passion about what you do. So yeah, it's the same type of vibe this season.
That's good. Thank you, Fred.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.